Good morning, mother offers. It is Monday, March 4th, and got a little bit of a late start here this morning, getting things set up. And I will tell you that if you are choosing to stream and Zwift at the same time, that you shouldn't wait till the last 20 minutes to set things up, because it's probably going to be jacked. Especially if you've waited a few days since you streamed. So we got another problem with the camera freezing up, so we'll be taking my beautiful face off the camera here in a minute, just so it's not a distraction. Whew. But a new day, new day. So if you're brand new to the stream, my name is Dave Bernard. I am a 47-year-old fat man, and January 4th of this year I was supposed to have an umbilical hernia surgery, and the doctor in so many words, or the surgeon in so many words, said that I was too fat to have the surgery. He didn't really say that. He basically said that I'd be better off if I lost some weight, would have a better recovery. It'd be better for me to wait until I'm down to a BMI of at least 35. And so here we go. I started off at 313 pounds just under 2 months ago, and I am basically still 313 pounds. So I haven't lost any weight. But I've been using the Zwift app here on my Wahoo Kickr 18 trainer, and I made a huge mistake this morning, it looks like, because I did not set up the proper route. So this will be fun. Not really. So I intended on riding my flat route again, and I did not. So that stinks. I was not into the idea of a hilly loop this morning. I just wanted to get a good ride in. Matter of fact, you're going to watch me change everything. So I'm going to shut down my Zwift app. We're going to trash that. We're going to restart. And so we won't get quite an hour in today, which is okay. So you jump in here and there's a black screen, you'll know what's going on. You also get to see how this all gets started up, or at least most of it. Alright, so let's go. Of course, I say that and I think so. And the way that I use a software called OBS. It's a free software, so if you're looking to stream, it's really all you need. I also use another company called Restream.io, and Restream, there we go, and then we're going to go in here. Thought I already had this set up. Alright. Well, there you go. You get to see me frozen in time again. We'll fix that. Like I said, we're going to take it off here in a second. So one of the nice things about well, hell, I even lost track of what I was just saying. So anyways, again, if you're brand new to the stream, the reason that I'm doing this is because I have to get down to 244 pounds or a BMI of 35. And I'm choosing to do it on a bike instead of going to the gym because of the hernia. I have to stay away from weightlifting right now, or strength training. And so this is the best way to do it. I'm not super concerned about the fact that I haven't lost any weight yet. That's not like end of the world stuff for me. I've been through this before. If you look in the upper right hand corner, you'll see a before and after picture. That's from 2012. I lost over, God, I'm trying to think. I lost 67 pounds, I think is what it was back then. You know, lost a bunch of fat, put on some muscle. So I know how to do it. I've done it before. And I've been trying to enact some of the same things that made me successful back then. Of course, the circumstances are significantly different from the last time, which is last time 2 months into my journey, I became unemployed basically, and so all I had to do during the next 6 months was work out and eat right. Made that journey a little bit easier. And I used a different set of products back then also that were specifically designed for weight loss. And I'm no longer using them, or I'm not choosing to use them this time, primarily because, not that they didn't work, my opinion is I think they changed the formula, and regardless of all that, I'm not a fan of the company owners now that I've known them, gotten to know them over the years, and so I don't feel good sharing my experience with the world along with them, so I'd rather just keep them out of it. But there are some things that I did do. So if you've been following along, one of the last times I got on here, you know, I said, listen, here's some of the success tips I have as far as what got me where I'm at now. And one of them was going public. Well, of course, you can't be a whole lot more public than I am right now with live streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So that box is checked. You know, I'm trying to eat healthy, so I'm trying to do those things, but one of the things that I haven't done yet is commit to a specific weight loss in a specific amount of time. And I understand that I've said I need to get down to 244 pounds by the time January 2020 rolls around, but you know, that's just a long goal. That's too long of a time frame to create the success that I need. And so what I'd done back then, and I think it was very powerful, was just put it into 90-day chunks. And I committed back then to losing 40 pounds in my first 90 days. And I was able to actually lose a little bit more than that, 41 pounds in 90 days. And I had a friend of mine who actually lost 50 pounds in 90 days. And she was working at the time. And understand this pound thing is relative. So with the amount of fat that I had, you know, 40 pounds in 90 days wasn't something that was like some miracle groundbreaking thing. I had the weight to lose. It's not like I was a lower body percentage of fat and was trying to lose 40 pounds. I had a lot of fat, like, you know, like half fat. Half of me was fat. So it becomes a little bit easier to lose weight or lose the water weight and the fat weight when you have that much on you. And it's kind of the same thing again this time around. And so losing that kind of weight shouldn't be too big of a challenge. I do intend on, so I guess here it is. Stop beating around the bush. I am going to lose 40 pounds by June 1st of this year. Now it's going to probably be more than 40 pounds because I'm fluctuating a lot over the last few days or weeks or months. But in essence, my goal weight by June 1st, 2019 is going to be down to 270 pounds. If I don't set that goal, I don't think I'm going to get any further than I am now. And right now, you know, I lose a few pounds and then I gain a few pounds, and I make some poor choices and decisions, usually late at night when it comes to snacking, or I'm overeating, which I feel like it's starting to get into a little bit of control. I've stopped in at a few of the fast food places over the last 2 months, days that I shouldn't have. So again, that's it. So you heard it here first. The old mother effer is going to lose 40 pounds in the next 90 days. Matter of fact, less than 90 days. I think the goal that I wrote down last night was June 3rd. So three months from yesterday, the goal is to be at 270 pounds, which is more than 40 pounds, but I do have weigh-in Wednesdays, and I do follow, you know, you can see that on the ticker down below, what my current weight is as of last Wednesday. You can see I actually gained 3 pounds since I started, and on March 6th, which will be on Wednesday, will be, I think, exactly 2 months since I started. Now, it's not that this has been wasted time. I mean, the 2 months has gotten my body used to doing this exercise, so I'm able to actually stay on the bike. My ass doesn't hurt so much. Matter of fact, this Saturday coming up, I'm planning on heading down to one of the local bike shops, and they're gonna fit me onto my current bike and possibly put a new saddle on it. But I've never been fitted to the bike, so it's never been set up for me, you know, to ride and be successful. So that should be good. That should make my rides even better. Oh. One of the things that we like to do on the ride here is make sure that we've got. Sorry, I got to get the Facebooker going here. So one of the things that I like to do. Have I mentioned it's hard to ride and talk at the same time? So it's it is a challenge to do both of these, all of this stuff at once. But at the same time, that actually makes this, in some respects, a little bit easier, because you're so busy trying to make sure that everything's working properly that you get distracted from the fact that you're actually on here. I did notice, and this is probably a little bit of a problem, that my chat app from Restream is potentially not working at all. So I've typed in a message a couple of times now, and nothing, not good. So I apologize to anybody that's been chatting along today. I cannot see a thing, which is interesting. Weird. Well, that's all part of being live, right, guys? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. You just roll with the punches. So my chat is not working. So if you're out there in the old Twitcher world, hopefully you guys are chatting away. I can't see any of it. I'll try to look at it later. And if you decide to chat on Facebook Live, I do have that monitor up right now. And so we're just going to ride along. One less thing for me to tinker with this morning. And if my little picture here on screen of me is decides to freeze up, we'll probably drop that too. It's not that the funny thing is that these technical issues probably could have been avoided, but when you go live, a lot of things will happen, which is fine. I'm not super worried about all of it. The bottom line is just getting my hour of riding in. That's all that really matters. Knowing you guys are on the journey with me is awesome. Just like my cousin Justin, who's watching on Facebook the live right now, and Carrie, who gave me a thumbs up. All of that just makes sure that it kind of helps me wake up in the morning. As far as the technical stuff, it's expected, and it's my fault. Like I said, I didn't wake up early enough to make sure everything was going to work properly, and it does take some manual manipulation to get this thing up and running every day. And so I decided to sit around, and this morning I woke up at around 5:30, and then decided I needed to watch the Garage Rehab show or whatever that's called. and Richard Rollins, I think it's his name. And hey, you know, that was a stupid priority, but it was a priority. I just didn't want to get up. So that's on me. And it's not that these things wouldn't have went wrong anyways. They would have. You know, I would have. It's you know, every ride there's something that gets messed up. No big deal. Like I said, I'm just happy you guys are here following along. And I don't expect anybody to stick around the entire ride. Jump on here, send me a message, give me a thumbs up. It's all it's going to take to keep me moving. I know it's silly that I'm saying that I need your help, but I do. I got to hold myself accountable, and part of that is doing this live so other people can make sure that I don't fall off the wagon over the next 12 months, or hell, 10 months now. I did have a plan this morning to actually show a little bit of the Zwift garage and play some of the videos from some of the YouTubers out there that are explaining what it is and introducing it to people. But it's almost like it's old news. It happened last week, and I'm sure most of you that use Zwift are already aware of it. And if you're brand new to Zwift, then it really won't make a difference to you anyways, because it's not, you didn't know any different. And it's one of the things that I am appreciating about this riding game that I'm now a part of, is that they're very active in updating the game to make it better for the riders. And I think their goal is to attract professional riders and to legitimize the idea of indoor cycling globally. I mean, it's a great thing, I think, for anybody that has the limitations that I have, at least, that I have a job that I work, you know, 57 hours, 60 hours a week, and just don't have the time to get out there and ride as much as I would like to for the goal of losing weight. And so this is excellent for me. Zwift also has a running app, so if you're a walker or a runner, you can get a little pod deal that you can, I think it's like $40, put it on your shoe, get on a treadmill, hook it up to your phone, and you're good to go. And so there's more than just riding. And of course, I've suggested some other things I would like to see, like rowing and skiing. You know, I mean skiing, cross-country skiing, as a couple of more options, which you never know, maybe that'll happen down the road. But, so, these guys have got indoor championships. There's all of these different things that are going on inside the app that just mean that it's going to continue to get more popular, and it's going to become something that is always being updated and getting better and better and better all the time. So there's only an upside at this point, is the way I look at it. And as you can see on the right hand side, currently right now, these are people that are actually riding at the same time that I am. Doesn't mean they're on my course, because you have a choice of how you train or what courses you're on, but it's still a cool world. You can race other people, you can ride with other people. Well, there you go. I froze up with a great look. So we're gonna get that beautiful picture of me on the lower left off the screen. But, and I've also noticed that I still got work to do on this here. So we'll get this to where, I guess if you even care, we'll get the old ticker rolling through where you can read it. Not that I want everybody to know that I'm still fat as F, but it's the reality of it. And like I said, today's announcement is I'm going to get down to 270 pounds by June 3rd. That's it. That's the goal. I have to do it. I have to kickstart this weight loss. I've had 2 months of losing 0 pounds. It's not that I've been sitting around. My body's getting used to riding. My ass is getting used to the seat. So it's not all negative, but I need to push it up another level of commitment, and I have to hit that 90-day goal that I've just set for myself. And so it's not the only 90-day goal that I've set. I've set some business goals also. Those of you that are following along know that I just closed my insurance agency. And there's a bigger story behind that, but I'm not sitting around wondering, or woe is me and all that jazz. I'm moving forward. And so I had to look very hard at myself, but why did I fail in that business? And what was the purpose of even starting it? And what am I going to do different, next? And, I've been down this path before with trying to help people with technology and marketing. And I wasn't very specific of who my demographic was, so I was pitching this knowledge to the world and not really honing in on who it was I was trying to help. And so I've been able to get that down to a point where I understand my market, which is small businesses, home-based businesses, so anybody running a business out of their home. And so one of the bigger challenges that I know they have is learning how to market their business. There's so much technology behind it. There's no good 1, 2, 3 step process to tell you what to do and to teach you how to do it. And so people just start randomly learning different skill sets, just like I did. What ends up happening is that you spend over 20 years, like I did, learning all of this great information, and you almost forget how to run the business side of it yourself. So you don't want to become an expert as far as technology and research and all that when it comes to marketing. You just want to know what works, learn how to do it, follow the steps, and get it done. And so that's what I'll be providing here shortly. And so I've set a 90-day goal to get that, I'm going to call it a business, up and running and be able to start providing that value to people. But different than the past, I'm going to expect some compensation from that. I'm not saying I'm not going to be giving stuff away for free, because I will, but I've given it all away for free in the past. Everything I know how to do, I have literally just given it away. And that's great and noble, but my time is worth something. And so I don't expect to become a millionaire by any means. It's not the goal. My goal is just to help people, but to also get compensated for helping people. So we got 90 days to kind of put that whole plan together. And matter of fact, I set a financial goal of earning $5,000 in that consultation type business. So by June 3rd, I'm going to be down to 270 pounds, and I'm going to have earned $5,000 helping other people making their business more successful. Hey, looks like the messenger's working. There you go. Yeah, what I'm providing that for, I can finally see the messages here. What I'm providing that for is just small businesses, local businesses, anybody in a home-based business that's looking how to, get more customers and make more sales. That's it. I mean, this isn't going to be groundbreaking stuff, but what it is 20 years of my experience and putting together what I know works as far as generating those leads and then closing those sales. And so you'll see more of that to come on my other websites. It's not the point or purpose of this website. The only point of bringing it up is to mention that I have a goal, and I'm setting goals beyond just this weight loss goal. As it relates to the Oaf Life channel, my goal is to lose to get down to 244 pounds by January 20th, but I've been failing at that. And so I'm leaning back on my experience from 2012, where I did this in 90-day increments. And I set my first goal in 2012 to lose 40 pounds in 90 days. And I did it. I lost 41 pounds in 90 days. And I'd say I was about 80% successful in sticking to my plan every day. And that means my eating plan and my exercise plan. And so I could probably even do better. Matter of fact, I weigh more starting out this time. Matter of fact, I think it's 20 pounds more I weigh than I did the first time around. Now I may have a little bit more muscle because I've been working out over the last 6 years, but relatively speaking, losing 40 pounds shouldn't be too big of a deal. I think I started out at 293 pounds back in 2012. This time I started out at 313 pounds. And so I'm going to get down to 270 pounds by June 3rd, period. That's the part that matters for Oak Life. As far as the marketing and all that and building your own brand, you know, that's all a different business and a different channel. If you're interested in it, message me and I'll put you at least on the email list so you can, or send you to the websites that I'm going to be using in order to help you. But I can tell you one little secret when it comes to direct sales, home-based businesses, and this isn't 100% for everybody, but some of the home-based businesses where they have a specific product or service that they're offering, especially if they're representing a separate company and there's a lot of salespeople in it, the biggest mistake that they make, that I see those people making, and I made it myself in the past, is they tell people what company it is or what product it is. So, for instance, even myself on this channel, the fact that I have a banner in the upper right for I Am First Form, before you ever get a chance to talk to me or ask my advice, you already know that it's First Form, right? And so I'm not really selling for these guys, just making sure everybody knows it's the products I use. But you don't have to talk to me to learn as much as you can about First Form, because it's there, it's up there, I've got it up there. And so you can prejudge your opinion without ever talking to me. Well, that doesn't do me any good if I was trying to make a living at selling First Form products, which I'm not, luckily. You know, I use those products. I do get a referral commission if somebody happens to buy through a link of mine, but again, I'm not trying to make a living selling First Form products. I'm just trying to keep it real and make sure people know that, you know, if I do have success, that they were a part of that. As far as sleeves go underneath there, same thing. I mean, those are the headbands that I primarily wear, even though today I'm wearing a First Form junk band, so I'm using a competitor's band, but same thing in that partnership with sleeves. If somebody purchases through my link, I get a small commission. And we're not talking making money to live on. It's literally pennies. You know, same thing with Amazon, things like that. I mean, and it doesn't cost more for them to do that. They're paying me as a publisher in most cases, as somebody who is representing the product whatever way I want, and then giving commission if I get that lead to them and makes a sale. So I'm not hiding any of that from anybody, and I don't think anybody should. I will tell you that if you ever decide to represent a product, you better be authentic about it. You better tell people when it works and when it doesn't work, because if you're not, you'll lose your audience. And I've seen a lot of people do that. I've never done it myself, but I can tell you that people will see through it very quickly in most cases if it's obvious that you don't actually use those products. It's actually one of the sickest things, in my opinion, about the health and wellness industry, is that people these celebrities put their name behind, you know, a set of products, and it's not something that maybe they're using it while they're doing the commercial, but it's not what got them there. It's not the product that got them to the success that they're using to help sell you. And so it's BS is what it ends up being, and that sucks, you know, for a lot of people. So because they think, hey, if I just take this thing, I eventually have an opportunity to look like, you know, that, or get the results that person got. And it's why Facebook and a lot of the other advertising agencies do not allow you to put before and after pictures on an ad, and I don't think you really see a whole lot of that at all anymore. And the only ones that you do see are the ones from large publishing houses that have basically bought their way in to that opportunity to sell to you. And so that's sad. You know, even the company that I worked with back in 2012, they very specifically told me that they actually struggled with believing that that my transformation was real. And I was using their products. They loved the transformation, but they really questioned whether or not I was using anything else to get the results that I got. And I was actually blown away by that almost allegation from them that they didn't have the belief in their own product that they would see a result like I had. So that was a tough time trying to get past all that. And you know, luckily I documented my entire journey, or else I don't know, I think mentally I would have fell apart a little bit when it was alleged that maybe I had done something else. And I don't even know what they were talking about. I don't know if they thought steroids or anything else, and that's kind of what they alluded to as far as what they thought. But then I realized they didn't even know who I was. They didn't actually pay any attention to my journey, because anybody that knows me well enough knows that I don't do needles. And I don't do needles not in a way that I don't do needles in a way that, you know, I get like timid or, you know, crying or fainting or anything like that. I have the fight side of flight or fight, or fight. I get very, very aggressive if a needle's involved. You know, even though that I'm pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, I cannot prick my own finger, even to this day. And I've tried to overcome that over the years. I got tattoos, a couple of them, and thinking that would help me get past it. This was, you know, over 20 years ago, the tattoos. You know, when I was at the university, I spent my summers working for the American Diabetes Association with young adults, or young kids, teenagers, and juveniles that had diabetes, just to try to get over this fear. That didn't work, but I did learn some things, you know. And so to allege that steroids would ever be a part of my life was, I realized they didn't even know who I was, and not that it mattered to them, but if you knew anything about me, you knew that there wasn't going to be any enhancement from anything, you know, any steroids or anything. So I don't like this grade, man. This sucks. Anyways, how was everybody's weekend? Anybody do anything fun? We were supposed to, my daughters and I, they have horseback riding lessons, and unfortunately it's been canceled the last couple of weeks because of the weather. Now yesterday was a nice day here, but the ice is still really bad out at the ranch. and so it's not safe for the horses to be ridden, is what I was told. And so we won't get back to the ranch for a few more weeks now, and the girls are really enjoying the lessons. I got those 5 lessons for them for a Christmas present, and I told them that I'd given them hints of what they were going to get, and I told them it was going to be something that they'd be able to use the rest of their life, and they were totally confused in what I was talking about. But learning how to ride a horse and how to maintain and take care of horses is something that I never got the opportunity to do, and I was able to purchase those lessons at a very inexpensive rate from, now I would call my friend, not at the time I didn't know who she was, but Renee Evoy here in Lapeer. And so doing the lessons up at Rebel Ranch in North Ranch, Michigan, and that is a, if I'm correct, and I could be wrong, that I know it's a woman-owned ranch, and I primarily think that it is all women that run it. I don't think there's a whole lot of men involved. So obviously your trainers and your barn hands and the owner and her daughter are the primary group of people. And for my daughters, I think that it is important for them to see, you know, women being successful. They have a very strong mother who is very successful in her business, what she does, and so that's an amazing example for them. They have an incredibly intelligent, hardworking older sister who's my stepdaughter, who has shown them what it takes to be successful. Matter of fact, Jordan has a degree from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, where she received many academic scholarships to go through that education. And so they have her as a strong example of what women can do. And of course, Tracy at Rebel Ranch is another great example for them to follow. And so I always want to put them in front of those strong women so that they continue to be inspired to know that they can do whatever the heck they want to do in life, and that they don't ever have to feel like they're being held back by anything. And that, you know, for them, their mother and I play two different parts, and I've asked them what they, you know, kind of what they feel about both of us, and they said our, you know, mother helps us with what's important now. She helps us with the day-to-day, you know, life lessons. And they said myself, their father, helps them with thinking about the future and what are the, what should they be looking at as far as the actions they take today and how that may affect them in the future. And that was a very interesting perspective for my daughter Olivia to tell me, and Sarah was, you know, obviously agreed. So that was good. I mean, I think it's nice for them to have that balance. And of course, we're a split family, and so they don't live with me day to day, but we stay in communication and we make that relationship work. And I have a day-to-day responsibility for them, and how we do that is that anything related to technology all falls on me as far as the decision making. And so I know that may seem a little silly, but the way technology is today, that is a day after day job. So I monitor their activity. I'm the only one that can approve what apps they may or may not get. You know, I deal with the negative. And of course, their mother also jumps in to monitor on the day-to-day business as far as, you know, making sure that they're not doing something that she could physically see that might be questionable. And then she also approves some of the things messages that they want to send friends, I guess would be the best way to put it. So we work as a team pretty well, and I stay involved in their life on a day-to-day basis, and technology allows me to do that. Now, I used to live overseas when they were very, very young, and I could have stayed there. Those businesses still exist. I could easily still be living in Australia, but I didn't want to, you know, live my life where I was only seeing my daughters every 6 months for a few days at a time, and then the rest of the time would be, you know, on a tablet or something like that. So I made a decision to come back home, which ultimately cost me my career a little bit, and I don't regret it a bit, not one bit. Matter of fact, it's part of what my goal is to create success helping other people with their marketing so that I can continue to have that life. I want to provide a need, something that people need, in a way that is easy for them to do and grasp. And so we're going to do it. I've done it before, but I didn't commit to it. This time I'm committed to it. So, and we had a discussion yesterday, the girls and I, on our drive back home to their home. And this is something that'd be odd to talk to 11 and 12-year-olds, but I think that if you start planting the seeds early, it's something they're going to remember forever. They're going to continue to live with this foundation that their mother and I are creating for them. And so what we talked about was retirement. You know, boring to most kids, but I try to always keep the conversation relative so they can understand what we're talking about. But, you know, their mother will retire right around the time they graduate from high school. And of course, she's going to move to a more southern state once that happens. That's her plan, at least. As far as I know, that's her plan. Now, that could change because we're not that close that I know exactly what's going on. But at one point, that was her plan. And as it relates to my retirement, I have a goal to putting a minimum of a couple $100,000 away by the time I'm 65 into a savings account that's growing. However, in reality, I actually don't plan to retire. I don't want to retire. I don't even want the idea of retiring. I committed to that, or you can almost say that ship sailed a long time ago, that when I was 35 and I made the decision to start making changes in my life, you know, I mentally was prepared for the fact that I don't plan to retire. And that's a choice more than anything else. But I look at the word retirement as a very negative word because it means for a lot of people that you almost hate what you're doing. You're just doing a job and you're just putting in the time. You know, you've imprisoned yourself to just getting it over with. Put in your time, put in your 30 years, put in your 40 years, whatever it is, so that you can get out, you know, get out of jail almost. And it's not a life that I want to live. So I want to be able to create this, what you would maybe consider a consulting type business that I never retire from, that I love doing it, that I love sharing, that I love helping people, inspiring them to do better. You know, for me, that's a job I don't ever have to retire from. That's something I can do, you know, the rest of my life. Now, does that mean that I plan to sit down and consult people, you know, 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, or even 5 days a week? No. You know, so I started to put together the perfect day for myself. What do I see that future being? You know, for me, you know, kind of a rough draft of what I think my future perfect day would look like is waking up early, drinking a little pre-workout or coffee, having my coffee, getting on the bike or working out for an hour, having breakfast, working my business for 2 hours, go enjoying the day, doing something adventurous or exciting for the day, meeting new people, basically having a decent time, having dinner, connecting, and then going back to bed and repeating it the next day. So a perfect day to me is putting 2 hours of direct work time into my business, and that's it. And it's very doable. So 2 hours of writing content, or blogs you would call it, making videos, planning out the week or month or day, and then moving on and having a good time. I mean, obviously it's something that sounds great for most people, but most of us go into a job and we're in prison for 8, 10, 12 hours, 16 hours a day, depending on what you're doing, and it's not fulfilling. And yeah, there are people out there that have a great, wonderful retirement, and they'll tell you that that's what you need to do in life, and that's what success is working 40 years and then being able to do whatever you want for the last 10 or 20 years of your life with a paycheck. I just come from a school that thinks that there's got to be a better way to do that. There's got to be a different life, a different path. And you know, my daughters have the example of their grandfather following that path and realizing that if they choose to do that, that's good, and they can actually have a good life and they can have a good retirement. And they're also going to have what I didn't have, which is seeing somebody become independent and having that same level of success in just a different way of doing it. And so, and of course their mother's another example of 40 years and then retirement. So they're gonna have experiences to lean on, so they'll have better choices, and it may be a little easier for them to do whatever it is they want to do in life because they have that example. For me, it was a little bit more challenging because I didn't have anybody in my life that really showed me how to do the things that I'm doing now. And so I didn't have anybody close I could lean on that said, okay, here's how you do it, right? Here's how you put away and invest for the future. Here's why you put some money away. Here's why you take risk. Here's how you calculate those risks. You know, and so we have those conversations, and again, 11 and 12 years old, it might be over their head, but it's a foundation that I'm creating and that their mother's creating for them, so that they can have a successful life in the future and know that they can do whatever it is they want, but do it in a way that's going to be sustainable throughout life. And one of the conversations that I talked about yesterday with them was, you know, the difference between some of the people that they actually look at being successful and other people, and I use myself as an example in the other world, some, you know, and I give them examples they know about, and then people out there that they would look at are successful. And that bit of advice, I know I was rambling there for a second, but that bit of advice was the people out there that really are the ones that you remember and notice and see are the ones that go and do things, right? They're the ones that don't just plan for it, don't just talk about it. They're the ones that go and do it. And such a powerful idea. You know, I can bitch and moan about people that I know that are not knowledgeable in specific areas that have started a business. And I can, you know, and you've done it too, where you're like, what the hell, man? This person doesn't know anything, and people are going to their business. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I mean, there was a trainer in town that really didn't know anything about, in my opinion, about physical training. I mean, didn't even use it as their education. It wasn't even what they had an education in. But you know what? This person did it, man. They started a gym. They started a boot camp first and turned it into a gym. The difference between her and me, she did it. She didn't talk about it. She didn't keep on planning for it. She didn't wait until it was the right time. She didn't wait until she had all the equipment. She used what she had. She created the resources that she needed, which wasn't much. She made stuff if she needed to. And the difference between her and I is she did it. And she learned on the fly. And I think it was dangerous. My opinion, I don't appreciate what she did from a safety standpoint, but whatever. I mean, she has hundreds and hundreds of people that are inspired by her gym every day and they get out and get it done. So the people that are successful, and you'll see this over and over again, they're the ones that just do. They go and do it, right? They go and do it. They don't sit around and talk about it. They don't overanalyze it. They don't think about it. They do it. You know, they have that, whatever it is, that momentary idea that sounds good to them, and they just go do it relentlessly, and they don't stop. You know, and obviously it's easy to be successful when you have success. It's not super easy to do it when you hit the grind of not being successful. And for some people, and most people, that means not making money. And can you weather the storm and stay consistent while you're not making money and just keep doing it just because you have that goal? And that's why you set those realistic goals. And that's why 90 days at a time actually matters. You know, whether it's scientifically proven or not, in my experience, setting a 90-day goal that's a stretch goal, but it's doable, and then going after it with everything you got, you will continuously see success, right? You know, 2012, my weight loss, 90-day goal, 40 pounds. I lost 41, went for it. Matter of fact, I think if I would have set a 50-pound goal at the time, I actually would have even met that, because I coasted the last couple of weeks because I was basically at 36 pounds with like 2.5 weeks to go of weight loss. And so I only had to lose 4 more pounds in a very short period of time, and I lost 5 more. But I can tell you I didn't push as hard in the gym. I didn't work as hard at the diet or any of those things. And so that's all relative, you know, and it's not a new concept. 90-day plans are a normal part of any business. Set 90-day goals to get more customers. Set a goal to earn a certain amount of income. Set a goal to change something in your business. Whatever it is, you know, the 90 days at a time seems to work. And what I experienced, because I trained a lot of people over a couple of year period of time after I had lost my weight, is that there's some magic when it comes to weight loss, at least in the last 30 days. Your metabolism seems to finally catch up with what you're doing in that last 30 days, and you actually start seeing massive results. So I feel like it's a metabolism that's caught up with everything. You know, your first month you're going to have success just because, you know, if you're fat like I was and am now, you know, you got a lot to lose. But your second week and then your second month, you seem to plateau a bit. You know, that success doesn't continue sometimes, and then you become discouraged and you give up. And you give up just before what they say the magic time is, when the magic happens. And I had several clients that it was even that last final week that they finally broke through. So they lost some weight the first month or the first week, and then nothing happened. And then all of a sudden in the last, you know, 7 to 10 days, all of a sudden it's just falling off them. I mean, whatever, you know what I mean? Here's what it is. There's something about 90 days at a time that actually works. And so if you have a goal, you know, a weight loss goal or a conditioning goal, you know, a muscle building goal or a business goal, you know, set yourself some kind of tangible, you know, number to go after, and then set your plan as it relates to how you're going to get there. What are you going to do daily to get there? Obviously for weight loss or muscle gain, it's going to be training and eating. For your business, what activities are you going to do to get more clients? What are you going to do to make sure that you're more successful, or you're the authority in what you do? For instance, if you're a real estate, I'm just going to use real estate or insurance agents, real estate agent or insurance agent, what do you need? What is your business? Your business is customers. Whatever your closing rate is, that can get better over time as you become better. but on average, you're probably looking at 10% conversion. So for every 100 people you talk to, you're probably only going to convert about 10% of them, or 10 of them. And so what does 10 new customers look like financially for you? Now, real estate agents, that would be a hell of a day. So you're probably not seeing 100 brand new clients on the real estate side, but for an insurance agent, it's realistic to think that you could go through 100 new people a month very easily. Real people, not just burning time, but knowing how to get those clients in the door and then get them sold. You can convert about 10 people on average. And that's, if you want to be better than that, then you have to learn some new skills. And I'm going to speak to both types of agents, really. But if you work in an office, chances are you're leaning on your company to provide a lot of those leads for you, and then just your friends and family outside of that to be your lead. And wouldn't it be amazing if you could actually generate your leads by building your own personal brand and becoming the authority, even if you're brand new, becoming the authority that people lean on when they're thinking about, buying or selling real estate, or looking into insurance policies, things like that. So there's a skill that you need to hone in on, and you can do what you want. I mean, you can go out to the interweb and figure this shit out on your own, or when I start putting these courses together, you can lean on those, and they're just going to do nothing but help you become the brand of your own business. So that is my secret of success in some respects, is that what you sell, or the service you provide, or the business opportunity that you're giving people, that is not your business. You are your business. Creating your brand is your business. And then not wasting time trying to figure out how to do it, and just following a simple process. Not an easy process, but a simple step-by-step process to get yourself doing the right things. Those are what we're going to be sharing. So again, it's not the point of this channel. I don't, at least at this point, don't intend on this channel being anything about what I'm going to be doing on the other channel. This channel is about, the funny thing is, this channel is not even leaning towards what it was originally intended to, which was Oaf Life, which is the challenges and the fun of becoming old. That's what this channel was intended to be. It wasn't intended to be about Zwift or bike riding or weight loss. Really intended on only speaking about things that were funny when you got old, about having to finally go and get that prostate exam, for instance, when you're in your 40s for the first time, and what that experience is like, and some of the funny stories that I have when it relates to my experience with that. And so it was really intended to be more of a fun thing, and it's turned into this bike riding and Zwift deal, which is fine. And that's one thing about business and being online. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow and let it be what it is. And so, though this wasn't intended to be a health and wellness channel, it's kind of what it's turned into. All right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. I'm not going to quit just yet because I want to get the next 5 minutes knocked out. Had a late start on the ride this morning, because watching TV was more important than getting everything set up. Sabotage. We're going to try to turn the camera back on so those of you that miss my pretty face can see me, which I highly doubt there's a whole lot of you out there that miss my pretty face. And because I don't have my glasses on, you'll notice that I probably can't read anything that you say if you did message me, so don't worry about it. Whoo! So today was just a ramble on, no specific subject day. I'll do a better job on Wednesday. And then Friday of this week will be an interesting day as it relates to our ride. Friday, I believe, is March 8th. So if I can do math, it's March 8th. March 8th is my son's birthday. And so, not sure how the topic's going to go. I don't know emotionally how I will be on that day. Excuse me. On Friday, he would have been, I think, 14 years old. And that would have been his 14th birthday. And so, that'll be, it's always a tough day for me, March 8th of every year. And so, and of course, also for his mother, it's a tough day. So I'm still going to ride, and we're going to be riding for David James. But we'll see if I really have anything to say that day. And there's always a chance that I won't. There's always a chance that we'll just ride and put something in the background. And probably find some links for those people that want to possibly donate to some infant death charities or things that help other people out when they have to go through that. Worst day of my life, and the anniversary or David James' birthday is on Friday, so no question what Friday's topic will be. As far as Wednesday goes, still working that out. We may go through a little bit more of the Zwift garage if that's interesting to anybody, and probably play some of the videos that are out there, so that people that are more experienced than I am can actually explain it. If you guys have a YouTube channel, please send me a message if you guys decide to do a video explaining the new garage and what you're able to do on Zwift, and we'll play that video also. So I'll put it on a playlist, and we'll, instead of the no copyright sound up in the top, we'll actually just play through a playlist of different videos explaining what it is. And if you've got a video you'd like to put together, please share that with me, and we'll get it on the playlist so we can at least watch that on Wednesday if that's what I decide to go through. I'm going to be looking at some of the races that are going on and seeing if there's any information that I think should be shared. And like I said, this is just about keeping it interesting and making sure that you guys aren't bored watching the 47-year-old fat man ride it out. Well, just like we always do, this time with 30 seconds left, I'm going to try to just jack this thing up and ride out the final wattage for 30 seconds at whatever I can hold. So here goes my last. Oh, I can't do it. Shit. I thought I could pull off. Woo! I really thought I could pull off 30 seconds of hard riding, but I can't. There we go. There's our hour. Guys, I do appreciate everybody that was on today. Of course, there was more technical difficulties again, but that's always going to happen when you go live. There is no edit. It's life in real time. Oh. Oh. Again, apologize that there were some technical difficulties and that we didn't have a very specific topic today and rambled on about a whole bunch of stuff. The intention is not to talk about my business that I'm going to be creating on a different channel. It really is to focus in on now health and wellness with Oath Life and the Zwift app, and just let this channel become whatever it needs to become. Of course, that's more dictated by you than it is me, it seems like, so that, which is cool. Woo! Oh. And I just learned that I cannot pull off 30 seconds of as fast as I can. So I'm gonna have to change my interval training plan the way I'm gonna start doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's gonna be 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes is gonna be a warm up, and then 8 to 20 intervals of 90 seconds slow and easy, and then 30 seconds as fast as I can. That was the plan. I'm going to change that around a little bit, and we're going to go to, just because of what I just experienced just there, and might do something more like 2 minutes nice and easy and 15 seconds as far as I can go. I'm going to look at my data here and see how that went here, that last little spike I made, and see what's going to make sense. Eventually I want to get to where I'm doing around 10 to 12 intervals of that 90 seconds of easy, and then 30 seconds of intensity. And that really is just for losing fat. That's the reason I'm going to do it. Now, there is science behind intervals as it relates to performance. And for those of you that are curious as to what I'm talking about, it's been proven that even marathoners, if they use interval training properly, will actually become faster doing short interval training as opposed to doing long training. So instead of doing like 13 or marathon length runs, they could do 10-mile or less interval training and actually increase their speed over the length of a marathon. And it really works for almost any distance outside of sprints. So people that are out there trying to get better, look into the science of interval training, and I promise you, you're actually gonna get results. You're gonna become better and you're gonna perform better. But interval training for fat guys like me is one of the best ways to lose fat, because it manipulates your metabolism to actually be in a metabolic burn for a long period of time throughout the day, as opposed to just the time that you're exercising. So I can't cite any wonderful information for you other than it's true, and if you don't believe me, look it up. Well, now you guys get to actually see what it looks like when you close down the Zwift. Alright guys, enough rambling for today. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Dave Bernard. I am a 47-year-old fat man who is riding on to lose weight.